Okay. And I think the idea is that every single one of them gets a copy of the worksheet. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's share my screen.
Okay. Yep. And we are recording.
Oh my goodness. You have to may have to edit this. It's probably fine. Okay. So hello, Geo team. This is your product management organization speaking. Nick and I had an idea to engage you a little bit more in the upcoming roadmap for Geo. So we are keen to hear what you think is going to be important to work on in the next quarters. We have a lot of ongoing work already, but the future is uncertain. And so we are trying to do an async RISE scoring session where every one of you can contribute, and it's the first time we do it. So we thought we'd give you a small sort of introductory video of how we're trying to do it. We'll repost the instructions as well, but this is Nick and me kind of doing it and having a discussion, but you can do it async for yourself. So you get a spreadsheet like that. So what's the idea behind it? First thing is, and the link will be available, is to use the RISE framework, which is a tool to stack rank issues. In our case, epics, which I find is more useful because they're larger efforts and have sort of a more significant impact. So RISE is standing for sort of the 4 dimensions of that impact the priority. The first one is reach. So how many customers will benefit from this overall? The vast majority to actually nobody. The second one is impact. You know, how is this actually going to impact the users of our product? Is this going to make a massive difference for them? You know, is it going to impact our ability to gain new customers? Confidence is how much do we believe, and in this case, you believe we can actually sort of define that problem, and how well do we understand the solution? So if we have a low confidence, it often means like we don't really know how to do it, and that's fine, you know, because there may be other things, but it indicates a little bit more risk because we're not so aware. The last one is effort. This is really sort of t-shirt sizing effort in man-months. It's more to get a feeling for like how big of a job is this after all. So that's that. And Nick actually prepared this really amazing template that we're going to use that uses sort of the standard scorings here for reach, impact, confidence, and effort. So I'll give you an example. We're talking about GA support for object storage replication. If we look at this, we have a few things in here, for example, so the verification of files in object storage, some deletion, some checksumming. Doesn't feel super detailed yet, but I think we get a feeling for what this would look like. So, Nick, what do you think? What's the reach?
Yeah, I think it's probably a small reach. I think it would be a subset of customers. And this is disclaimer, sort of my feeling based on what I've seen. And I think a lot of folks may say, well, I don't know if I'm qualified to gauge the reach here. I don't know if I'm qualified to gauge the impact. And what I'll say is just that's okay, and just do your best, do what comes to mind. There's no right or wrong answers here. And I think with many people sort of providing their input, things will kind of average out. But so here I said small reach because I know that we generally, if people are using object storage, we recommend that they use their built-in third-party provider replication mechanism, but there are still some customers who want Geo to manage replication, and that's why I said small reach.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. A comment here is that we can probably do better than that if we have this in usage ping. That's maybe something to double check, because we can maybe calculate the set of known geo customers and those that have object storage enabled and make an educated guess as to, if this is the subset. But I agree with you. We know from many large customers that they are relying on other storage mechanisms. And so, this will be a subset, but also with sort of more and more large organizations onboarding, they may use object storage. So I may even say, like, maybe it's a significant reach, but we can keep it at small for now, just because it is a current subset. To impact, what do you think? You said high impact.
Yeah, I said high impact. Again, I could see arguments for massive impact. But I thought high just because for the people who are using this, they want to know that it works well and that it's at the level of GA support. I could see an argument for massive because maybe massive impact also means more adoption of this. But that's kind of just what I put in there as my initial reaction. And I think that's part of this exercise. Some people may have a different answer, and then we can have some discussion about that, and everyone can kind of recalibrate their initial answers.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. I would be more happy to leave it at high rather than massive.
Yeah.
So confidence medium.
Yeah,
I'm less optimistic.
Yeah, I think that's another one where there can be some back and forth debate, and I think as we uncover more information about people's confidence levels, we can adjust that. But yeah, I think part of this too is I would encourage, especially if there's some uncertainty, to just kind of go with what people initially feel.
Yeah. For me, for example, I think this is interesting because this is something that Nick did, and he says he's medium confident, but he also knows a lot more about the technical details. For me at the moment, like if this was my spreadsheet, I would probably say I'm not so confident because I don't know how difficult it would be to verify data in object storage. If it depends on the object storage provider, if we have to download that data, I have no idea. So given that level of sort of, I don't know, I would probably have low confidence. And this is the nice thing about RISE, if we can sort of reconcile this and discuss sort of some of these things as a group async, and that will like help us decide and sort of focus on some of those bits. So we leave it at medium. Effort, person months, yeah, like 2. I would probably triple that. 2 is probably fine. And that gives you a score. Divided, like created with a fancy G-sheet formula. And that's actually all you need to do, actually.
Yeah, and I think effort is another one of those where it's not going to be exact, and it's going to change based on confidence, I'm sure. But it's another one of those where just give your best guess, and everyone can have discussions and recalibrate later on. And I think it's really meant to sort of identify. I think in terms of effort, it's not really the exact number. It's sort of the scale, right? Like if 2 or 3 months is still going to give you something of a different scale than if you said, well, this is so easy, it's 0.2 and it's a high impact. And I think that's kind of what we're looking for here, if I'm understanding the exercise, is these really places where there may be big scores that stand out because we say, well, hey, here's something that has high reach, high impact, and really low effort. This clearly stands out as something that perhaps we should prioritize. And so
that's right.
I think we're kind of, we shouldn't get so caught up in maybe the
no, it's about the relative positioning to each other rather than the absolute values. Right? If there's a thing that everybody agrees on has high reach, massive impact, high confidence, and takes a quarter, that's the thing that we may really want to do, and I think that makes it easier. Yeah, and I think we'll pre-populate some of these epics and issues, but I think you should also feel empowered to highlight some things that you're passionate about yourself. That's kind of it. My advice from having done this a couple of times is not to overthink it. This is for us to gain a better understanding. There's, if you're in between one of the confidence levels and you're not sure, pick one. It's more important to do this quickly and to iterate on it rather than, getting caught up in the details. Yeah, those are the instructions, I think. Anything to add?
No, thank you for the explanation of the process, and looking forward to going through this exercise with everyone.
Same here.
I'll stop recording.